All right, Dustin, you just took the exam. How'd you do, man?
I passed, so that's always that's the best thing.
Yeah, no doubt, brother. All right, cool. Talk us a little bit. So you passed. We know the end of the story. Tell us the beginning of the story. How did we get here? Like, what's your PMP journey like? What was it like for you, man?
Well, I started with a competitor
Yeah.
to start off with, and went through the process and started taking exams or practice exams, and just were not doing very well at all.
Yep.
So, kind of looked around, seeing what's out there. I actually found your book first.
Cool.
So I listened to the audiobook, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try this guy's simulators.
Yep.
So I started with that. I'm like, you know what, I really like this. So I sent a chat and I heard an email, and then about 10, 15 minutes later, you called me. Said, hey, I'm doing the 7-day thing. Do you want to join in? I said, yeah. Hey, let's give it a shot.
Right on.
So started the 7-day program. Went well.
Yeah.
And
here we are.
What is it?
How long ago was that? That was like, I was at my brother's house. I remember because
Yeah.
I was outside. You got me out of like family stuff, which is nice. How long ago was that roughly? I can't remember.
About 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So not so bad. So you did well. What was the study process like? Like what worked for you? Like as far as what hit home with you, man?
Well, the biggest thing is I can tell you what not to do.
Let's do that. All right, I'm cool with what not to do.
Because my problem with everything is I overthink things. If I would have just listened and followed the program to a T, I could have been done already. My problem was which is good for my personality, is I think there's better ways of doing things. So I always try to improve on them.
There you go.
So I tried to improve on them. I studied probably a little bit more than I needed to on the wrong subjects. So I wasted a lot of time, I think. And I think if I would have just followed it to a T and just said, okay, well, you know what? The 7-day program is supposed to be done. It doesn't have to be done in 7 days.
True.
You don't have to watch all the videos in that one day, which is what I did. I was spending 8 hours a day going through watching every single video.
There you go.
If I would have said, okay, let's just take this much time, go through it, and then step 1, and then go step 2, step 3. I think I would have done better. I think it would have become easier for me. But sometimes I make things more complicated than it needs to be. So I had every chart, every graph in OneNote, and I was over just analyzing it to the 10th degree. And then I missed the important things. But I still passed, so I'm happy.
Cool. I mean, you're kind of like downplaying yourself. You went into it full force. Like, Coach has said that. He's like, I think some of the notes in the back was like, goes deep, really serious about it, like wants to find a better, those kind of things, better way and stuff, which is good. It's just like, you can only get there, your way. And so once you slowed down, found the important things, the rest, we know what happened. So what were some of those important things that you realized, like, that really did help a ton?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is with the test is you got to know where you're at. If you know where you're at, that's the first step. I mean, to know where you're at and what you're trying to produce. Like you said, the factories. Okay, you're in this process, you're producing this. Understanding that is probably the biggest thing. And then the other observation from the test was knowing what they're asking for. There's a lot of questions that I ran across was, what document is this? Or what process is this? Well, and then they list processes for documents and documents for processes. So you can just eliminate those. As soon as you figure that out, then you can go on. Concerning the actual test, the biggest thing I would recommend is make sure you do your math correctly in your head before you start the test, and make an outline. Say, hey, I know you said it, but I don't think I ever did it. In 30 questions, I need to be at this time.
Yeah.
In 60 questions, I need to be at this time.
Yeah.
I got stuck on a couple things. So I was actually running behind the whole test.
Yeah.
So 30 questions in, I was behind. And then I was trying to play catch up the rest of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's crazy. I
wish I would have said, okay, well, 30 minutes, I need to be on question 25 or something, whatever it is.
Yep.
I think that would have helped me out considerably. Mm-hmm. And know when to just give up.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't know what you don't you don't know the answer to the question? Skip it or answer it and go on to the next question. Yeah. Don't spend 5 minutes on it.
Right.
Even though you've told me that 25 times, I still tried to overanalyze it. So just follow the process.
Yeah.
If you have never used a service like yours before, mm-hmm. and you're used to doing everything by yourself, mm-hmm. You're paying for a service. Utilize it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't think you're smarter than everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. And the cool thing is, like, I love your advice, man. It's very so we'll go one by one if I can remember them well. Like the first thing you said was know where you are. So you're talking about, talk a little bit more about know where you are.
Well, if you're in planning.
Yeah.
And they're asking for whatever. Mm-hmm. And they get one of the answers they give you is in initiating. Obviously, mm-hmm. that's not one of them. That's right. Just a mark off. Okay. Scratch it.
Yeah.
Or kill it is probably the better answer. But if you're let's say you're in planning and you're in quality, you need to know what you're trying to accomplish when you're trying to plan. Oh, my brain's fried.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, no, you just took the test, dude. But what you're trying to say, I love it because you're I'm going to ask you how we get to that point. So think about that, how you get to that knowledge thing. But what you're trying to say is once you identify where you are in the process groups, what the question says, hey, we're here, and you make an approximation, then you can kind of walk yourself down to say what is appropriate and what is not appropriate, what should we be doing and not. And then a lot of the answers, we can kill, no, of course this is a good thing to do, but not right now. And so that's gone. That's cool. So how did you go about getting there? That takes time, correct? To get to the identifying yourself. What's the process? What was the process for you to get there? I'm sure it was.
Actually, I felt I was fairly comfortable with that.
Okay, cool.
I could read the question, and I think we went through it enough where I knew kind of where we were at.
Okay.
The hard part was trying to figure out what came out of the factory. I'm trying to remember what came out.
Yeah.
So most of that was just, okay, it's not this answer, it's not that answer. I'm down to 50-50.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just guessed. I didn't know. Yeah. Or there was a lot of questions that could have gone either way for me.
Yep.
It could have been, well, you'd actually do 2 or 3 of these things, but you have to figure out what you do first.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time with that, just trying to remember, well, in a business environment, I'm going to do everything all at the same time. So remembering the orders was a big factor for me. One particular question was, you've verified the deliverables, and what is the next steps?
Yeah.
Well, one of them was transfer the project to the customer, start closeout documents. I can't remember the other one. Well, the steps are you start the closeout documents, and then throughout that process, you hand it over. So just that type of thing, remembering the order of it, helped me out.
That's tons. And then you also, so that's really good. And then you talked about, oh shoot, now I'm losing it. So you talked about where you were and then what it asks. Because I think one thing that I observe, because you're in a lot of sessions with me, and I listen to students answer questions every single day, is that a lot of them, it's almost like they don't even read the question. They just go, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, the answer's where I gotta go. So let me just pick the answer. And then they just, I think it's B. And I'm like, whoa, slow down. Like there's, let's romance this question a little bit. Like, like walk into it a little bit. Let's not just get married tonight. Like, and they don't even really read what the problem is. When I say like, hey, what's the problem? They're like, I don't know. And so what were you thinking?
One word makes a difference.
Yeah.
You have to read it.
Yeah.
That's just like with anything. You have to understand what they're asking for before you can answer the question.
Yeah.
If you don't understand it, you're never going to get the answer correct.
Very true.
So carefully, and if you need to take time, or I took time and read it, made sure I understand it, and then I would look at the answers after that.
Okay.
And that way you don't have to go back and forth, because then you're just spending more and more time on things that aren't needed.
You just gave me an idea for a video, so thank you. I'll tell you about later. Just got an idea. All right, that's cool. And so, like on the exam, how nervous were you walking into it, or sitting down to your desk today?
I didn't sleep last night.
Oh, really? What was the biggest fear, like other than like failing? What did you think was going to happen? Like,
well, for me, for anybody taking this test, it's important to them.
Yeah.
So in my particular scenario, I was laid off, and I felt the PMP is going to help me find a job.
I hope so.
So I was more, if I get this, then I can have more opportunities. And if I don't, then I'm going to have to study again, so on and so forth. So I put a lot of stress on myself. And that's kind of how I was this morning.
That's all right. Yeah. But you got through it, dude. And you got the little things behind your name. So on to the next step, like, resumes and applications and interviews and all that jazz. And so like, I know you put a ton of work in, obviously. You took it serious. You did everything. You did well. Do you think, did you learn anything as far as like that you'll use in the interview process, or when you go to work, will you be able to talk better? Or as I said, every time I say like talk better, it sounds dumb when I'm like talk gooder and so like, do you think that's helped you in any way past just the exam? Like
it does.
Okay.
I think it helps just in general. People don't follow processes enough in life.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway.
Yep.
They just jump into it, not understanding, well, why do you exercise? Or why are you painting a house?
Right.
Well, because you want to paint the house. You're not just going to jump in and do it. You need to say, okay, what color?
Yeah.
Am I going to do it? Am I going to let this other person do it?
Right.
So on and so forth. Terrible analogy, but
it's all right. I could work with you. I was getting ready to bail you out, bro. Like I can help you out there. But it's all like you're saying, be disciplined and follow through. Like I am as a normal person, I am more of a like, and then we're gonna figure it out. Like, and so I think for me, it's like this PMP whole world has like slowed me down a little bit, or said like, hey, what is the discipline process? What is the real reason why we're doing this? And it's helped kind of plan things out. And maybe that's what you're saying is like, hey, let's just see a process to what we're doing. You're already really detailed thinker and pusher, but like, maybe a little bit more structure and logic. So that's good. Cool. The coaching calls and stuff like that. What were your thoughts on the value there as far as getting in and either the ones with me or the other coaches? What other little coach did you have? What were the small groups? Who were you?
I started with Mia, and then I was moved to Britta.
To Britta. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I only got 1 or 2 coaching calls with them.
With them, yeah.
But then I had with yours. We were pretty consistent with that one.
Right on. Cool. And so like you kind of went through that. You're always there talking through stuff. Like what were some of the, like, as far as like in your development and your thought process and getting down there, like what role did the coaching calls play in that?
I think, that's what this program is. I think the coaching calls is one of the most important things.
I agree.
because to have that feedback, to have that other person with you saying, hey, I'm going through the same problems you are. Let's work on it together. There's small groups that I was part of that, I had a conversation with one today. Called me, congratulated me that I passed, and I'm going to work with her and try to get her going.
Who's that? You're going to have to tell me on the camera.
I'll tell you after.
Tell me after.
Yeah. But, yeah, I thought this was actually the most important part.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think that's what makes this process different than everything else I've ever been a part of. I'll still jump on here every once in a while and say, hey, what's everyone doing?
Awesome, man. Yeah. And then the chat's rolling. And I do think that the coaching calls have taken on a life of themselves, and that's where like we just beat around ideas. And it's so, like I've said it before in other little calls, is that it is a Zoom call and everybody's little boxes around there. But to me, it honestly feels like sitting around a table, like the outsides of a table where everybody's equal and they're all just throwing it in and they're all being relatively respectful and sharing ideas. So I like that a lot. And everybody seems to be learning really, really quickly and well. And yeah, we just don't want to mess that thing up. It's going pretty well with that.
Yeah. So, I think you have a hit on your hands on that. That's what, I looked forward to having those calls. There was times where we did two in one day.
Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah. Yeah. And even like I got 5 in a day. I'm getting ready to go up to 8 a day. So as we get more students, so it's good. And those are really helpful. And we're starting, the cool part is like, like Britta and Maya are coaches. And so we're developing all those people, it's a skill and it's, you used to like facilitating, but we're developing those so that the vision is we're going to have 40 hours of coaching every week. We're going to have no one can come to me and say, oh, that doesn't work for me, because I'll be like, yo, there's one at 2 p.m. on a Thursday. Done. Yeah. Like, stop complaining. Like, there's one on Thursday. Not that anybody complains to me, but that's the vision. So we'll see how it goes. That's cool. Now, there's other people out there like you, like they, maybe been laid off or furloughed. Shit, half the world's been furloughed. And they really want to do this. They're detailed thinkers. They're good project managers. They're trying to build their career, stuff like that. You talk to us a lot about the things not to do. If someone's out there like that and they're like, yep, that's me. I see Dustin in me. What do you say to them so that they can get through quickly and be where you are smiling, man? What would you say?
Get started on it. Get off your butt and do it.
Right on.
That's what it takes. It takes a lot of hard work. Even with good coaching and a good support system, it just takes work. So get to it.
That's it. It's pretty simple, dude. I think that's the tightest, most concise recommendations that we've had from anybody. I would expect nothing less. But get to it. Just take that action and and we'll be there to support them. So that's really cool, dude.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool, man. Well, I really appreciate it, Dustin. You did amazing. We'll see what your final score's in, but in a couple of days, whenever they come in, but you're done. You got free time now. You can work on it. And I appreciate you helping out the other people, and we'll hang on after this and I'll find out who that is so that maybe I can help them out too. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, man.
I appreciate all your help on this. I couldn't have done it without you.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Thank you.